of 4 and 15. So children that are engaged in extracurricular activities, but children that are not so old that they can drive themselves to activities. And again, because we're talking about the United States, children are not taking public transportation. In most cities in the US, public transportation is not that good. The nice thing about this population is that it's a really growing population in the US. Not only that, but these people, these families, are willing to adopt new technologies in order to solve their really complex logistical lives, right? Because parents are constantly having to negotiate, okay, who's going to take this child here? Who's going to take this child here? I have to stay late for work. I'm sick today. That child is sick today. What do I do, right? A lot of problems. And so one thing we heard in our pretty consistently over the 3 years of fieldwork we did with dual income families is that parents feel like their lives are out of control. It doesn't mean they can't survive, obviously, families are not dying off in this day and age, but that they really feel like there are so many things going on in their lives that they don't feel like they're in control of their lives. They're really beholden to their schedule and the list of activities that their children participate in. So after doing 3 years of fieldwork with this population, we started to say, well, what can the role of technology be? Is there a role for a smartphone that can really learn what people are doing and then help them feel like they're more in control of their lives? So we undertook this really rather large data collection study. It was with 6 families, and I write about 25 people. And the reason I say is we had 26 people. There was one young girl who was 4 years old, and by the fourth time she lost her phone, AT&T cut off her insurance. So we couldn't give her a phone anymore. So we had everybody participating in the study except for this one 4-year-old girl. So we had people carry around, at this time it was not a very smartphone, it was an AT&T BlackBerry Curve, for 6 months. And the kind of data we collected was, we collected a GPS point every minute. We collected all the communications data that was available on the phone. So that's the metadata on who called, how long the call was, caller ID if it was available. We have all the communication data about texts and email messages, anything that was sent and received on the phone. Tremendous amount of communication data. And then we have calendars. So we both have access to digital calendars for those families that kept them, and paper calendars. We just had people take a picture once a week of their paper calendars. To augment the information we were able to get from the phone, we also collected a bunch of sort of ground truth information. So we interviewed every member of the family. So we did 25 interviews every other day to find out, what were the stress points in your, why did you have various communications? Where did you go, and what was the purpose of this? Did anything happen that wasn't planned, that was not routine in your life? And then every 2 weeks we did in-person interviews. So we had this tremendously huge data set, a really, really valuable data set, where most of it was coming directly from a smartphone, or a so-called smartphone, I should say. So I don't want you to pay too much attention. There's a lot of information on this graph. I want you to pay attention to one thing. So what we're seeing here is this is the mom right here. This is the dad. This is the son who's 15, and this is the daughter. Okay? And basically, this is the start of the study, and this is the end of the study. So what I want you to pay attention to is the number of activities that the kids are involved in. So it doesn't matter so much what the activities are, but you can see the daughter's involved in 4 different activities, and the son's involved in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 activities, including school. And this is over a period of about 6 months, right? So these kids are either self-selecting to go participate in lots of activities, or their parents are saying, you need to participate in all these activities because you're going to go to a good college, and it's important to do these activities because it will look good to college admissions. So that's your real driver. So parents either enroll their kids in lots of activities, or the children choose to. And so the question is, with this many activities, how do you keep track of who needs to go where when? Right? So one question is, maybe the families just inherently know this information. They repeat this actions over and over again. Maybe they just know this information. So the answer, that's a fallacy. So parents don't actually know their children's schedule nor each other's schedules. So this is an activity we had people do where we asked the son, the mom, and the dad to list out what was the